This audio is from an ebook titled The Answer to Every Life, authored by Tira, the Non-Self. Introduction. From a young age, each of us has asked ourselves, why were we born? What is it that we truly want? As life continues, bringing both happiness and suffering, success and failure, this question never really leaves us. For what we have is not what we truly long for. This book points directly to the truth within the mind, the very truth we so often fail to notice. It shows clearly that the body, voices, thoughts, mental images, emotions, memories, and even the act of knowing are not who we are. Nor are they lasting refuges. They are only temporary dwellings, tools fashioned to guide us back to recognizing our true self. In reality, the answer we have been searching for all our lives is not far away. It is within the mind itself, the pure life element, clear, free from fabrication, never born, never dying. This is the answer to every life. The body is not a lasting refuge. From the moment we open our eyes at birth, every one of us walks the same path of birth, aging, sickness, and death. This body is only a vessel that we temporarily inhabit. No one can hold on to it forever. One day it must inevitably break apart. This is a truth that cannot be avoided. Yet because of ignorance we mistake the body for who we are. We devote our lives to feeding, protecting, and caring for this vessel as if it were a permanent home. We struggle and search for everything to preserve it, but no matter how much care we give, the body still declines with time. When this bodily vessel falls apart, the unenlightened mind will seek another vessel, continuing to circle through birth and death without end. What we call life thus becomes a cycle of suffering and harm to ourselves and to one another that stretches on endlessly. In truth, the body has never been a lasting refuge. It is merely a tool for the mind to dwell in while learning. If we turn back against the current and awaken within, we will clearly see that clinging to the body is a misunderstanding. Observing the body thoroughly will make us realize it is not us, not ours. It simply arises, endures for a while, and fades away. Seeing in this way is not something depressing, but rather a doorway to liberation. For the very moment we accept the truth that the body is not a lasting refuge, the mind begins to release its grasp and slowly opens the way toward awakening to the unchanging reality. Voices and mental images in the mind. When we turn inward, we notice that there is always a voice speaking, as if someone were narrating stories within. This voice jumps from one thought to another without pause. Each thought is often accompanied by a mental image, the picture of a watermelon when the voice says, "I want to eat watermelon," or the image of a person when their name is spoken in the mind. These things operate on their own. We cannot command our thoughts to only be good ones or forbid them from being bad ones. The voices and images continue to arise and cease by themselves. Yet through ignorance, we mistakenly believe that these voices and images are who we are, the one who thinks, speaks, and feels through them. We become immersed in them, whether happy, sad, or troubled. But if we look carefully, we will realize that they are only fleeting phenomena, arising and ceasing, impermanent. This recognition is crucial. Once we understand that the voices that think and the images that appear are merely phenomena and not who we are, the mind begins to loosen from attachment. Then we can ask ourselves with sincerity, if these voices and images are not us, then what is our true being? It is this very question that becomes the step leading us closer to the truth. Emotions, memory, and perception. When we observe more deeply, we see that emotions are like waves that rise and then disappear. Happiness and suffering are in truth two sides of the same coin. We wish to have only happiness, but every happiness always carries the shadow of suffering. Happiness arises from the thought, things are as I want them to be, while suffering arises from the thought, things are not as I hoped. Both happiness and suffering are merely fabricated phenomena, never lasting. Memory is the same. It remembers at times and forgets at times, never constant. It holds things for a while and then fades away. Memory functions on its own. It is not us, and not something we can rely on. Perception works in the same way. When sound makes contact, hearing arises on its own. When there is no contact, perception falls silent. No one commands it, it knows on its own. Perception is simply a phenomenon that arises and ceases by itself. If we look closely, we see that emotions, memory, and perception have never been who we are. They are only passing phenomena, arising and ceasing according to nature. When this is seen, the mind accepts that there is no owner, nothing permanent. The five aggregates that we once clung to collapse, leaving only clarity, purity, and freedom, untouched by body or any phenomena. Such understanding may bring about a sudden opening into truth. Tears may flow with relief, lightness, and ease, for it becomes clear that we are not the owners of emotions, not the holders of memory, not the controllers of perception. Everything works by itself. What we truly are is pure and clear nature, free from body and all phenomena. Analogies of clinging. Sometimes seeing the truth of the mind is difficult to grasp through reasoning alone. Analogies can help to make clear why we cling to what is not truly us, the bubble. Our pure essence is clarity, emptiness without form. But when fabrication arises, it is as if a bubble forms around itself. That bubble is the subtle body, filled with thoughts, feelings, knowing, emotions, and memories. This subtle body then inhabits a coarse human or animal body. We become busy caring for the bubble and the coarse body, forgetting that within there remains the empty, clear, and pure nature, our true being. Clothing and a mobile home life is like someone who has received a new outfit or a mobile home. At first, there is joy and careful care, but with time the clothes wear out and the vehicle decays. We then grieve, though in truth we are not the clothes, not the vehicle, but the one who wears and dwells within. These things are only temporary tools, the fruit and the seed. Another analogy is that of fruit. The peel and the flesh are not its essence. The true heart lies in the seed. The peel and flesh must wither, but the seed holds the origin and continuity. Our lives are the same. The body and its phenomena are only coverings, while the mind that is clear and empty is the seed, the true essence of who we are. Deep sleep and ignorance. If we observe daily life, we will notice that in the moments of deepest sleep, when there are no dreams, no thoughts, no voices or images, what remains is our true being, the life element that is empty, clear, pure, and formless. In that state there is no fabrication, no happiness, no suffering, not even memory. In deep sleep, the mind remains pure and empty, yet it has not awakened into wisdom. It does not recognize itself as the pure element, and so it is still unaware of what it truly is. When we wake, thoughts, memories, and emotions immediately resume, and we fall back into the belief that we are human, we are this body that must get up, work, and endlessly struggle to survive. As long as the mind does not realize that it is the pure element, it will cling to the body and to phenomena. When death comes, the mind goes searching for another vessel, driven by the forces of thoughts, emotions, and other mental phenomena to which it remains bound. Sometimes this brings happiness, sometimes suffering, but always the endless circling of birth and death. Observing deep sleep is therefore like a mirror. It shows us that purity has always been there. What is missing is wisdom to recognize itself. When the mind turns inward to awaken and sees that everything arising is not us, then ignorance comes to an end. Awakening and entering the stream of Dhamma. The path of those who seek Dhamma is often filled with doubt. We try to follow many teachings, sitting in meditation, walking mindfully, or striving to make the mind peaceful. Yet when faced with the reality of life, that peace quickly fades, and questions arise. What is the purpose of the peace we seek? Where does true peace actually lie? The truth is that forcing the mind into stillness or pushing thoughts away is not the answer. The answer is simply in knowing, as the awakened one taught, suffering is to be known. True peace does not come from sitting and suppressing thoughts, but from awakening to things as they are, seeing clearly that all phenomena arise and cease on their own. When we begin to observe the inner voice, we discover that it is this very voice that creates all the stories. The first time this is seen clearly, tears may flow in release, like a weary traveler suddenly seeing a road sign declaring 400 kilometers to the capital city. Though not yet at the destination, all doubt vanishes. The way is certain. This is entering the stream of Dhamma. The further we walk, the greater the confidence. The more we awaken, the clearer it becomes. The act of knowing and the act of thinking are working on their own, not done by us. By simply watching without clinging, in time the mind bursts open. The belief that we are human shatters completely, leaving only purity beyond time and distance. This is the realization of our original essence and the understanding that all we once clung to, voices, mental images, emotions, memories, and perceptions, are only phenomena, not who we are. To see this is to step onto the direct path that leads to true liberation. The mind as the true refuge. Through observation and awakening, we clearly see that all we once depended on, body, voices, thoughts, images, emotions, memories, and perceptions, are only free gifts from nature, temporary tools, never permanent, never who we are, never a true refuge. In truth, it is the mind itself that is the true refuge. The mind is formless, empty, clear, pure, never born, never dying. This nature is the immortal element, our true home, our place of safety, the real refuge that has been with us all along. All phenomena, thoughts, images, emotions, memories, and perceptions arise from the pure mind like waves rippling from the sea, and then cease, back again. The pure mind is never touched by these waves. It is the source of all things, but never any of them. When this is understood, the mind releases its grasp. It no longer suffers over what arises and ceases. It sees clearly that we have never truly been born into this world. There have only ever been phenomena appearing and ceasing. Our true being has never moved, never changed. This is the discovery that the mind is pure knowing, a refuge within itself. There is no need to seek outside, for this nature has always been here, waiting for us to awaken and turn back to see. When this is realized, the cycle of becoming ends, and every doubt dissolves. The mind is the true refuge. Conclusion. When we see with clarity that all things we cling to are not us, the body is not us, the inner voice is not us, emotions are not us, memory and perception are not us, then we discover the true reality. We are the nature that is empty, clear, and pure. In this reality, there is no lasting happiness or suffering, no birth or death, no distance or time. There is only formless life, radiant and one with all. This is the answer that every human being has been searching for. When it is revealed in the heart, every question comes to an end. This is the answer to every life.